Hello everyone, welcome back to our My 2017 series in our decorative box. This is where we left off. We had our our box finished modeled, and we created a little ground plane and a light. So all we got left to do is texture. Apologies for the short video last time. I had some phone calls that were coming in and they were being persistent, so I found a good stopping point and decided just to break it in half here. So anyways, we're going to pick up here. We're just going to texture this box here and get into the UV texture editor today. So what we're going to probably do to start out here is I'm going to turn off the lights and shadows for now, just because that helps with, well, yeah, okay, we'll leave it off. It just helps with the processor, makes it where your computer will run a little smoother. If you have a fast computer, probably won't have any kind of issues, but sometimes when you're doing the UV texture editor, you'll find that it'll start to chug a little bit when you start using manipulating around textures in 3D space. Alright, so let's just jump right in here. We're going to go to our split view here. So we're going to click on this icon right here. This will give us two different panels. And we're going to go to Panel, Panel, and we're going to go to Hypershade. Okay. There we go. Now, I don't know if you caught that. It loaded up this 4 or 5 panel different Hypershade, and I had to go and figure this out myself, and it was a little bit of an issue. This is my 2017 bug I found, where sometimes it'll close out windows off the Hypershade, which is kind of buggy. So by default, you should have 4 different windows here. This is where your materials would be at. This is your create materials area, and this is your connection editor. Then this is more of an advanced thing. You kind of see them down here all connecting up. But we're not going to be getting into any of this. We're mainly just going to be using this guy right here. If yours loaded up with all the features, awesome. If you have any issues getting your features to load back up, go to Window and you'll find the browser is the same thing as this one right here. Your create is this one right here. And those are the main two you need to have. So if that happens, just go ahead and go to this area here, and they'll drop some new windows for you so you can get in your Hypershade and do your job. Okay, so first thing we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and we're going to go to our Maya surfaces, and we're going to create ourselves a new Lambert. Okay. Now remember, we're not messing with Lambert 1. Make sure we're getting away from that. So we're going to assign Lambert 5 to our decorative box. We're going to just drop it right on there. Okay. And we're going to go ahead and call Lambert 5. We're going to name it Box Texture. Okay. Good. Well, maybe not. I don't want that Z, I want an X. There we go. Alright, so now we're good. And I'm just middle mouse button drag this guy from here onto our texture and let go. And now the texture has been assigned to this decorative box. The other way is also you just select the model, right mouse button on top of that texture, and go to assign material selection. Both ways work just the same. Maya has a bunch of different ways of doing the same thing, so whatever your workflow feels more comfortable for you, just go with that route. Okay, so let's jump right on in here. This is a little bit off. Oh, no, I guess there we go. All right. Now we're going to go ahead and add texture. Now, if you went through the solar system project with you, this part will feel a little bit more familiar. We're going to go over to our color attribute for our Lambert shader here. And the little checker box in the corner here, that's how we attach in our map. So we're going to go ahead and click on that. And then it gives us this node, create render node area. And what we're looking for is the file texture, because now we can attach a map in that way. So we're going to go ahead and select that. And now it's going to say which texture do we want. So we're going to go ahead and go to where it says image name. We're going to click on the folder next to it. And that will bring us into this window, and it'll say, which texture do you want? Now we have our reference images that we used before in here. But we also have this one in here. It says Decorative Box UV Texture. Now, if you went and got your reference image pictures, you should have got this one as well. It's essentially just those 3 reference images, but they're all in one image. That way we don't need to have 3 different shaders. We can use the same shader for all 3 of them. So we're going to go ahead and hit open. Okay. Alright, so now it's attached. Now nothing happened here, and the reason why is because I have my textures turned off. So I'm going to go ahead and turn on textures, and there we go. You see now that the textures on my box are active. Now this isn't anything that we want this thing to look like, of course, but you can see there's texture on there, so that's a start. So we're going to change our panel over here from our hyper shade. We're going to change this over to our UV texture editor. So we're going to go to panels, and we're going to go down to UV editor. Okay, there we go. Here's our UV editor right in here. Okay, so now to edit our UVs, we can go ahead and select this. You can see what's going on. Now, I like to have what's called cell shading on, which is this little icon right here. Make it to where all of our UVs are now blue. It's to where it's easier to see. Now, we have to actually generate UVs. Right now, they're all connected and they're not laid out evenly. So we're going to go to where it says UV. We're going to go to automatic. Okay. That looks good. Alright, so over here, here's all of our UVs. Now they look like a bunch of little puzzle pieces. Now, that's sometimes good, sometimes bad, sometimes it gets to be a little bit overwhelming. But we're done with the auto project for UVs, so we go ahead and exit out of this. We go over here, and we're going to go to we can go to shell mode or we can go to UV mode. UV mode will allow us to mess with the individual vertexes of the UVs, but shell mode will grab the entire islands, which is all the polygons for that particular puzzle piece. So I'm just going to do a little marquee box and select all of them. And I'm just going to translate them outside of the textured area so that the area I'm working in isn't cluttered with our UV shells for now. Okay. Alright, so let's go ahead and jump right on in here. We're going to go ahead and grab our first shell here. Okay, and I can see that right away. It's right over here. Okay. So what I want to do now is I just want to bring it over to where the side of, so I can see that this is like the wedge, so this is the wedge right here, so I can go ahead and rotate it, right? And I'm going to scale it. Okay. We're just going to move it down, get in position. Okay, that's almost right. I can need to scale it maybe a little bit more in, and then translate it a little bit more over. Okay, maybe just a little bit more in. Okay, there we go. And look over here on the side, and that looks okay. It's not perfect, but it's workable. We can keep that for now. If I want to, I can bring this up a little bit more. I can maybe scale it a little more vertically. There we go. Yeah, okay. I'm content with that. I'm not going to spend a bunch of time agonizing over it, as you guys should not either. And it's okay to overlap these as well. Now this one here, I can go around the side here. I can see this actually belongs to this front one. They're almost identical, but if I want to just make sure that the front ones go to the front one, I can just go over here and work it in on this one. And I can actually use this tool over here. It says it'll rotate 45 degrees, and that will help me out getting this placed in here correctly. Okay. Okay, I'm just going to translate this guy towards positions like so. Get it close. Go scale up a little bit more and scale in a little bit more. Okay, and looking over my viewport, that looks okay. I think I can handle that. That's fine to me. If I want to, I can make it to where it's fit a little bit more towards the bottom. Yeah, I'm just going to scale it just a little bit like this. So that way I can get that bottom piece as well. Alright, there we go. Now I'm happy. Okay, so next puzzle piece. Let's go ahead and grab this one over here. Let's get in shell mode here. Grab this guy. I believe that is the same thing as this one over here on this side. So that belongs down over here. Okay. And I can go ahead and actually let's go ahead and use that rotate tool we used before. So let's go ahead and rotate it like that. Okay. And you can tell now that there's actually a little bit of a discrepancy here. The reason why is because the UVs are facing the wrong way, right? Well, actually, the UVs are facing the right way, but the image is facing the wrong way because the other side of the model. So how can we deal with that? Well, I'll tell you, it's pretty simple. So all you do is you want to reverse the UV set. So we're going to go to this red box here, and we'll just swap the UVs to where it's now facing the other way. Now you tell how they turn red. That tells you that UVs are actually backwards. Now, if you're working inside of a game engine, that could be a problem. You'll have to go and flip the UVs, which is they have an UV in here. It says reverse. That will go ahead and make it to where they're actually facing the right way. But since we're using this just for inside of Maya, Maya doesn't care whether the UVs are backwards or not, in most cases anyways. So it'll render both sides no problem. But in game engines, they don't render both sides. It's for optimizing stuff like that. So okay, so here we are. We're going to go ahead and move on to the next one here. Go ahead and finish up here. We're just going to keep moving these over and placing them in their respective islands. Okay, we're going to scale that one up as well. Almost there. Just got it a little bit tilted. It's picking up that one in the background. It's a little confusing. Alright, so I'm going to scale that one down. There we go. Alright, so that looks good. Let's go ahead and deal with the last piece here, and that would be the top part here. I'm just going to take that one, bring it over here. Okay. Now, let's say we want to bring in these side panels. You see them like as I highlight. If we go to edge mode, you can actually see them as well. So if we go to edge mode, you can see all the edges that attach to it, which are these little slatches here. So let's go ahead and see what happens. We're just going to go, since all the edges on here are selected, let's do this one tool here called Move and Sew. Right here it says Sew UV Tool. So we're going to go ahead and click on that. Okay, so they must have changed this one to where it doesn't work that way anymore. Oh, Move UVs. Used to have one as Move and Sew, and let's just try that one. No? Okay, these ones are being difficult. Should have tried this out first. They changed the tool apparently a little bit. Alright, so what I'll do is I'll actually just go to shell mode. I'll go ahead and move them over manually. In my 2015, 2016, if you guys are familiar with that one, it used to be that tool you just go to Move and Sew, and it would pop the desired tool or desired shell over to the spot it needs to be in. So okay, so this one's supposed to be over here. Okay, let's try it now. We do Move and Sew now. Oh, that's what they're doing, yeah. Oh, okay, I see. Alright, so, sorry, should have done a little bit more research before I went and did this part of the video, but that's okay. I can go ahead and go to the fly on here. We're going to go ahead and move this around. We're going to go ahead and grab the next piece here. So go ahead and checking these edges over here. Alright, so this one, let's go ahead and grab these shells. We'll just go grab this one, and this one. Let's bring all those over here at the same time. Let's go ahead and check the edges on this one. So that one goes on this side. So I'll just take this one here, I'll move it right on over there. Okay. And then we can turn on the sew tool. Kind of weird how they changed that tool up. Not sure how I feel about it yet. I like the way it worked before. But, you know, getting with the times, I guess. Alright, let's see here. Alright, so this is in the right spot, so I'm just going to go ahead and take this last shell right there. Move it on up there. Same thing with this one, I'll just go ahead and move this one down. Rotate it in a little bit. There we go. So I can turn on the sew tool and just go ahead and sew all these edges together. No, let's not go that far. If I remember correctly, if you go too far with these sew edges, it kind of looks stretched. Okay, so let's just not do that one all the way to there. Let's just do right there. Look right into there. Let's go ahead and just move this into place and see what it looks like before we go ahead and commit to anything else. So we'll take this guy here, move it into place. Like so. Okay, so that almost looks good enough. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to call it good enough for now. You could make this seamless, but the thing is you have to stretch the UVs to where it actually looks right. So and we can go ahead and just try it out and see what it looks like here. Some cases it might just look fine. Let's see here. That's okay. That's alright. So it gives us kind of a seamless look as it goes around. Okay, so yeah, that does actually work. We'll go ahead and stay with that. Okay, so then you have some extra pieces here. These pieces are usually the pieces you don't really see. So let's go ahead and just go to shell, see what these all are. If they're the ones we can't see, then we're just going to hide them. So, okay, so these ones we can't hide. Looks like everything else belongs to the bottom, so we can hide everything but this one piece right there. Okay, so we're going to select this edge. I'm just going to double click on it. Okay, apparently it's not happy with my double click. Okay. Okay, and I'm going to use the cut tool. So this one here says cut UV edge. Go ahead and cut that apart. So now I should be able to go to shell again. Come on now. There we go. Shell. Oh, I didn't cut it away. Okay, well that's a pain. Okay, so it must have changed it to where now it's so weird. It doesn't want to do it the way it normally does. Sorry, guys. Some things. Alright, we're going to try again. Cut. No. No, it's still connected. Okay, it's being a problem child. Some of these tools, they just changed so much that they don't really work right anymore. That one, those two tools are both problematic, it seems. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take this one here, rotate to the desired location, and since the other parts are all hidden, it doesn't really matter. I was just trying to be a little more precise with it. There we go. That's good enough. Alright, so the other parts here, we're going to just take all these, okay, and we're just going to scale them all down so that they are very small. We'll just hide them. Yeah, I see that little bottom edge is also in there, which I don't really care. That one can stay gray. So I'm just going to hide them inside here in the gray. Okay, so everything else is good. All right. There we go. Alright, so that's good. Our entire box has texture on it now. Looks pretty decent. We can go ahead and turn on our lights, turn on our shadows, and there we go. That's pretty much it for the decorative box. Not a whole lot more you can do there. You can add a little more texture to the ground if you want to, but in this particular lesson set, we're going to end it right here. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next project.